Hey guys, Novus here, and welcome back to From the Depths. So, we were kind of mucking around with guns real quick. I was gonna try and get a bit of a different gun setup going real quick. So, what I was thinking next is we could work on having a look at different sizes of autoloaders, as well as other ways to set them up into the hull. So this can also be done with belt-fed autoloaders, what I'm about to do here, but can also totally be done using the larger autoloaders as well. I find it's a bit more effective to do it this way. So, if you want to sort of set up some AA guns that are kind of just sitting in the side of your armor, I guess. So let's say you've got a bit of a bigger ship and you're worried about planes swooping in from the sides and taking shots. You don't really want to set up turrets or anything, you don't really have the space. What you can do... I'll start with the firing piece. Okay, so 2 meter tall AA mantlet, and what you can do is you can kind of have that sort of situation going on where, you know, just sort of obviously extend out to the sides along with your ship. So it's just sort of approach different situations you might end up working with sort of stuff. So yeah, the idea would be essentially have a setup like that. Just have a horde of AA guns that can all just spray along the side of the ship. Probably be better to give them a bit more. I mean, personally I prefer the 3 meter Omni mantlet. Oops. I don't know where I just replaced the box somewhere down there. But yeah, so you just do that. Chucking your 3x3, you need to have a hell of a lot more basically area you can fire. It means that each of the guns can actually target the same target if necessary. But yeah. So the weapon aiming script I linked the other day as well. It's totally worth checking out. It can... yeah, it can do some cool stuff. You can have all your guns in the same group, so we could set a whole bunch of these cannons up in a row along here, and then basically have all of them in the same weapon group, so put them into weapon group 1, and basically you set the settings for weapon group 1 so that each of those guns will actually try and target a separate target. Have them all running off the same AI, set up to prioritize higher altitude targets, and Bob's your own. You'll have AA guns that'll just they'll all try and pick a target each and just spray out of them. So just a side note. So if you're gonna make it the 3x3, personally I prefer to have it sort of attached at the back there somehow, and actually strip the blocks out from underneath it. And what that manages is it kind of gives you space underneath to put more autoloaders as well. Now if you wanted less space taken, what you can also do, now this would require a wider ship, but if it's not very tall, you can also do this sort of run guns along towards the nose of your ship and so forth. So you could work with, say, a 4 meter autoloader. Now what you could do is just run that straight back through your layers of outer armor. You don't really need, have to have this many cooling vents and this many gauge increase. It's just sort of a random number to give us an idea. At the same time on this one we'd be able to get it on all 4 sides due to the fact that it is a larger gun. I think that was right. Yep. So yeah, you could have 4 autoloaders running on that one on this one, basically. So yeah, the gauge isn't that great, but again, it's just sort of meant to be a case of getting an idea of just sort of how to set it up. So you can have that technically, as far as I'm aware, can just have that set up like this, and you can hook it straight in. Now, because it's not going through clips, it has an extra factor of 1.5 to the loading time, which is a bit rip, but oh well. It's yeah, it's got a 0.5 speed modifier. Yeah, and this would fire, as far as I'm aware. So just extend that out, or evacuator, muzzle brake. There you go. You technically got a gun there. Let me really quickly just, let's see, quick example. Is this 178, I think? 179. I'm a customizer. Extend this out. Just that. I could totally go with Frags or something instead, but yes, it's 1,000 meter range, 1 meter shell rack needed for this 880 millimeter shell. So we want a larger shell. Oh yeah, I also, whoops, I don't think I actually said it as well. That's my bad. Hang on. So we're using the 178. There we go. So 4 meter shell rack needed. Okay, well, there we go. Perfect. Okay, now it's a bit of a bigger shell, but with that size of a flak shell, I mean, we got a pretty decent flak shot going off. Yeah, 2,500 meter range. It's a pretty decent range on the shots from these kinds of guns, like your slightly bigger gauge guns. So we'll just put that in weapon group 2 for a sec. Assign that to the flak one. And then should be willing to fire. So yeah, 1,500 kinetic damage, 500 flak damage. I mean, it's a bit of a bigger shell, which is why you'd be dealing with more kind of, I guess, issues with that. Now, because of the way it's set up, where it's not using racks, yeah, it takes that long to load. So it takes quite a while. So that's why, if you wanted to, you could very easily have it set up. So essentially just runs like that. It's got 2 racks attached to it now. So it should no longer increase the loading time. So that was 31.4. Let's see if it goes down after this next shell goes in. Might not have factored it in yet. Nope. Okay, fair enough. At the same time, you can always triple the speed. So flag, sign, and then yeah, you'd have them going in a bit quicker. Yeah, so on the other hand, with this kind of setup, kind of just turn each one. Now you're gonna have to rip that out as well. That basically just means you turn each rack. Oop, that's backwards. My bad. So yeah, turn each one, bob drum. You can put your input feeders on either end. So whack them on this end. You could have them sort of planted into the armor in the back here or something. Doesn't really matter. You can get more intakes onto it as well. This should totally run off of this ammo source as well. The difference is, yeah, load them much quicker. So you could totally, what that allows for is you can then have hopefully the barrel cooling down quickly enough. That's not too bad. I mean, it could be worse. Yeah, usually when you're going for these bigger gauges, though, you'd sort of want to go for, like, rather than anti-air, maybe go for sort of more anti-armor type builds and so forth. Now, let's build something a little bit different. Let's move it down a gauge again. Down in gauge again, I should say. So rip this one off. And then this one can be edited, so rip all of that off. Okay, then what we can do is we can go to autoloaders 2 meters. This is something interesting I sort of wanted to muck around with. I haven't actually had a chance to yet, so this is going to be the test. Let's see how well we could get a 2 meter shell rack going. So, what's the gauge out there? 72 mil. Alright, so I probably I want more gauge increases on it then, and so forth, but you can always extend these things like into the guts of your ship and just put a whole bunch of cooling vents, gauge increases, and all sorts of stuff like that into it. Because yeah, as long as you're just connecting it to the back of the gauge increases, you can just keep branching them off into your ship and splitting them off and so forth. It is a bit saddening that we don't have a corner piece. We've only got the left and right splitter, but oh well. What I'd really love is if it had a splitter that, like, you could actually have one of those side connections be the input and the bottom be the output. So to basically let you split a line off. So for instance here, I could just put this piece here and have it split off to the side. Stuff like that would be cool, but alright. So let's see, we put the 2 meter ammo clips in. Try to actually line them up. Oops. Nope. Those. Yeah. And then this one is just here, like so. Okay. So again, we can just put hammer input feeders across the front. So I might put 2 into each one this time. I might change this over from flat to, where is it? Fragmentation. All the way down to the bottom, and the nose can be a frag head. Alright. Let's connect this up. Okay, so the 80 mil. We go down to 80. So yeah, we need the 2 meter shell rack. Cool. 180 fragments. 182 fragment damage. It's not too terrible. Alright, let's see how much it can spray though. So the cool part about this is, unlike with the belt fed, it can just start shooting, like immediately. So you probably want to mirror these onto the back as well. But, with that block there, that's not going to work out. So what we'll do, real quick, 4 meter planks. Then Put a 2 meter there. That should support the gun, so I can rip this off the back. Put those there. Basically what we'd end up wanting is just sort of a beam connecting straight up to that, like so. It just sort of hold the gun there even if the front came down. Alright, so there we go. Now the rear ones are also loading. But yeah, so it should be able to start firing immediately. Shouldn't have to worry about waiting and so forth. Now we can use it as a shotgun like this, see how it goes, and then we can try actually setting a speed limit to it, essentially for how quickly it'll fire a shot. So let's test this out. Let's see how fragmentations go. Should be fine to reach this. Can't aim in that direction. Well, okay, so can't reach. It's fine. Well, that was sad. Okay, so let's actually try. Yeah. So these are the shotgun blast. So we can get 3 volleys out at a time with the number of things there. Now, unfortunately, this is not detonating at all. This has a really pitiful range because just how small it is. 1067. But that can always be like very easily improved. Shell rear, base bleeder. Let's give it that. That's another cool thing you can do nowadays. Clear clips. Oh, sure, we'll start loading again. Alright. So let's give it a minute. Load up a couple shells. Yeah, we should be good. Alright, let's see if we can target it now. Maybe we can reach, hopefully. We should be able to. It's not that bad a range. Come on, reach the wall. Really? Can't? How? Okay, alright. Fair enough. A shorter range than I thought. Oh, they're just a bit short. Okay, we kind of saw the shrapnel there. One moment, let me... That should be close enough to hit. Alright. Set this one to be an enemy. We should be good. Activate. Oops. One sec. Yeah. Shells do need one other thing. I mean, I wanted to put, yeah. I was thinking of putting a timed fuse on it anyway, but just for now, an actual fuse will do the job. So you can see how much shrapnel it'll shoot. Should be quite a bit. Okay, so some of them are working, some of them are not. I mean, they're only doing a complete 180 and the inertial fuse is just like, oh, that's fine. Oh wait, no, I didn't empty the clips. That's my bad. Clips. Sorry guys. Have it working in just a moment. But, it's not bad though. This doesn't take up very much space. And yet, you get 3 shots out of each one. If you were to have this sort of try and deal with a whole bunch of fighters, you had, you know, let's say even 4 of them, 5 of them. If you had 5 of them, that's 15 shots coming out at a time per volley. And it is a lot of shrapnel. Okay, so activate that. Let's test it some more. So that'll even break through like heavier armor. So it's not bad. I mean, it's not going to get all the way through and really do any damage behind it, I guess, but if it's dealing with fighters, yeah, that should be pretty decent. Let's So yeah, compact little shotgun. Same time, if we wanted to go a little more nuts with that, we got 54mm, so that'll work. We could probably even do this with belt fed. So we take it down to 54. Oh, damn it. Goes by twos. Alright. So we do need the 2 meter shell rack for this one, but we could shorten it. And we could get this coming out of a belt fed fairly easily. But, this is a 6-shot shotgun blast, basically. Could have it sort of just firing like a minigun. I'm kind of interested in the idea of it. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in the idea of this sort of shotgunning blasts out of flyers and so forth. And where is it? There we are. Activate. Alright. So you'd probably want the 6 autoloaders rather than having 8 autoloaders. But what you can do means basically if you were to extend it, say 3 times as far back, you would get 4 volleys in a row. Let's see, how quick are those barrels cooling down? Oh, they're cooling down way too quickly, these rounds. So you probably would want something like a belt fed setup going for it. But look at the destruction that causes. When those 3 shots are just spread up into 6 shots smaller. Gauge. Yeah. So this is why I've been sort of contemplating even the whole concept of maybe sending the fighter here to be running with, get underneath it, should be able to set these up really quickly to do fragmentation. Frag head, or I guess maybe just want the hollow point. Hollow point might be the better way. I think that'd be fine. We'll still get 54 fragments at 135 damage each. That's pretty dirty. Jesus. Okay. Clear clips. Your fragmentation shells are really ridiculous at the moment. In bigger rounds, as far as I'm aware, they're not that useful. Just due to the way that the fragments and so forth scale. So if you see on the right here, you do get a lot more fragments from the larger shells, but to take it up to say 500, you get 1700 fragments. It is a crap ton. But when you're getting like 50 fragments, when you're getting even from just like your 50, let's just go to 50. Ooh. 50mm. You're getting 90 fragments out of just that. And that can be sprayed out. I mean, you can very easily top the number of fragments you're getting out of this. The damage drops down to like 130 or so, but I mean, 430, it's not a huge difference. 11 meter shell rack would be needed for that. But yeah, even like a 250mm, it's just like, it's not worth compared to spraying out like 50mm, 70mm shots. That one over there, I believe, is the 71mm in that ship over there. So I mean, 144 fragments, 162. That'd be alright. So what's it actually doing? It's 72 fragments at 155 damage. It's pretty good. He's got 3 gunpowder casings and a base bleeder, so they got 1700 meters range. The gun can actually fire pretty far as well. So it shouldn't take too long for these to load up, hopefully. And I'll just skip over that. Alright guys, looks like the gun is finally loaded. So let's try this out. It should be a lot of shots. There should be a lot of shrapnel. see how it goes. I didn't change my... Oh god, that's a lot of shrapnel. Oh god, look at it go. I did say before, shrapnel's a bit ridiculous at the moment. And it's actively trying to repair as this happens. Like, it's full of resources and repair bots and stuff. It just can't keep up. God damn. Okay, so I think we might have to put shrapnel into this ship. This might be the better way to go than the standard hollow points. Jesus. It's got a hollow point on the front of it. So what's happening is the hollow point's hitting. Please stick with the hollow point. Yeah, so it's hitting, detonating the hollow shell, breaking the block directly ahead of it, and then sending the shrapnel in. And that's why it's just an absolute mess. Now those, Jesus Christ, those were like hitting the little flyers and so forth now? I don't know. I reckon it'd absolutely shred them apart. Empties its ammo fairly quickly, I mean. It happens, I guess. So I'm not sure how it manages. So, from like best I can tell, it's using the front sets. I believe I actually ended up setting it up that way because I think I added these ones on afterwards, but it actually runs on these autoloaders, and then once they run out, it kind of seems to roll over to using these ones to just shoot at half speed. Or something? I don't know. Strange that these weren't still running when these ones ran out, or it might have been. Might have been these ones were still running for, yeah, half firing speed. But these ones just hadn't started loading yet. Or maybe they all did just run out at the same time, despite having different things of ammo rack. I don't know. Don't ask me, I just made the gun. But it works alright. This loads up fairly quick. It's a ridiculous amount of damage to that. Like, I was actually surprised just then. That's the kind of damage we're looking at from the friggin' 500 mil, like 500 mil gauge guns. That's nuts. Alright, so I'm gonna have to actually customize one of these things to be set up that way, like the actual ship. Because this one's been ripped apart, I'll probably just grab another one out and fix the two ammo clips on the side that I remember. I need to put a laser targeter on it, and I need to change over the recoil absorbers from one large to being a bunch of smaller ones. So probably be better off with the 1 meters. It's probably like 5. I can fit 6 though. Why not? So yeah, that should do better for the recoil absorption. Thank you for the tip, by the way. Yeah, that should definitely help. And yeah, that'd be good. So we'll see how this thing goes in the campaign. By the looks of what was just going down there, it should be able to absolutely shred things. And on top of that, I'm going to have one of these sorts of guns. That's definitely what I'm going to go with if I do set up that gun in the back here. I'm thinking I might just have one that's 3 meter tall, mantlet, just running a gauge increase straight down here, and then just auto loads on the top and the bottom. Belt fed, have it like a fair small gauge, and just spraying straight out the back there. I mean, it'll mean this thing's gone, and we'd essentially have to do pretty much just that in exchange and have a barrels like just coming out of there. Oh god, I didn't think that through. It'll mean it'll cut down our speed a bit. For some reason I thought I should be able to raise it up, but I forgot we don't have the thrusters at the front here at the moment. Yeah, it should be good. It should work. It'll be It'll be quick, hopefully still. But most importantly, I'll have a little reverse gun here, and yeah, if I set that up, it's going to be spraying flak. That's going to be pretty much its express purpose in life. It's just spray flak at anything behind us. So that's probably what that'll end up being like. Just a hole at the back here, barrel running straight out. And yeah, hopefully that'll be good. So that way if we jump in behind one fighter or whatever else, anything that's behind us and is trying to get on our rear ends, they're going to be sprayed down at the same time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, have a good one, guys.